So welcome to another edition of the Hills of Stanley Park, or Stanley Park Hills. Due to our thousands upon thousands upon thousands of requests, it's like, come on, can you go inside the park? Well, that was it. On Wednesday, we actually did exactly that. We went deep inside the forest in Stanley Park, and the results are 3 videos, probably about 13 minutes in length each. And we'll be honest, we didn't discover anything really rideable or worth mentioning or anything else. But here we go. We're going to get on. We've actually changed up the frame rate of the video to see if it's going to be any better. So basically what we did is we went through up the main path, Rollins, up to Lovers, over Lovers to across Tatlow, and then we went into the jungle. As you can see, we ended up in a lot of dead ends. There is no mark. This is the first time we've ever been in any of these paths. So it's exploration for you and for us. I believe we're at some sort of a dead end, or no, we've got to get off our bike and slant it down to get underneath that tree. So it was definitely soggy, wet, lots of mud and crap and wet leaves and wet roots and stuff, which made it very slippery. So it's not like we could have been ripping through this path at 50 kilometers an hour. I would say more like 2 kilometers an hour, basically on low gear, just pedaling around, just exploring to see if we could see anything that would resemble any kind of paths. And I would classify these paths as more walking paths than riding paths, because there's too many obstacles. It's too narrow to get any kind of speed. But here we are, just riding up a main path, looking left, looking right to see if we can see anything that resembles something that we might be able to ride down. Sometimes we were lucky, other times we had to back up. But this is the inner jungle of Stanley Park. Generally, we like to ride the hills, the paths that are a little more upkept, steep. That's what we're interested in. It was definitely a challenge for a $350 Costco mountain bike. We found some jumps in there, but there was no way that we were going to take that jump, due to the fact that if we were to take that jump, our $350 mountain bike would have snapped in two like a toothpick. B, it was so wet and slick in all the ramps and landing areas that you're just basically asking for a death wish. And C, the landing areas were pretty much non-existent. I think if someone just like, oh, here's a good idea to ramp here, didn't put any thought into the landing area, because of very narrow stumps, logs, roots all over the place. So there's no way you could even launch yourself off any of those paths. So here we go. There is an interesting path here. Let's just follow it to see what we can find here. As you can see, there's not any kind of set path here. It's just basically rundown trees. We had to lift our bike down some of them, over, crouch underneath some of the fallen trees. It was a lot of fun, as I say with sarcasm in my voice. Even if it was all dried out, chances are that it would stay pretty much permanently. Some of those places would stay permanently wet. It's just not worth the hassle, because there is nothing. Oh, there's the little rock formations that's supposedly an outline of some sort of houses. A little bit of history of Stanley Park. The natives used to live down there years and years and years ago. And then in the late 60s, early 70s, all the draft dodgers jumped across the border and were living down there. There is actually supposedly an unmarked graveyard in a certain part of Stanley Park also. That's over towards the 9 o'clock gun area. But as you can see, there's nothing. There's this basically beaten down pass. There's nothing of interest, so to speak. I've done it once and I will not be returning. As I said, I've got another 2 videos of me exploring, because as I said, I went up to the top and went all the way down, literally all the way down to the bottom in the bushes, from the most northwest side down to the southeast side, looking for pass, and we pretty much came up empty-handed. If you're into riding 1 kilometer an hour and having to manipulate over rocks, stumps, roots, etc., then this may be up your alley. If not, I would not suggest it. And I think I may have even blown out my back tire on this, because it was very, very, very low after coming out of the bushes. One thing I didn't encounter in all the crap in here, I didn't see any people wandering around. It's still very wet, and as I said, it's basically just chop, sticks, roots, rocks. There's nowhere really to let go and to go wild or to get any kind of speed, because essentially there is no path. It's just mixtures of different passes that I was playing everything by ear. Should I go here, here? This is all first experience for me going in these paths. As I said, we did encounter a couple of places where some people managed to make a ramp or a jump. But we looked at it, and the fact that it was like about 3 feet or a meter high, and there's a little ramp there, very slick, very skinny, and not even a clean path to the takeoff. So see, there it is there. And look, where are you going to land? You're not going to be able to land anywhere. To the right, you got the tree stumps. To the left, you got another stump. You got another tree on the right. Impossible. So we just walked our bike down that little lip there. See, there is a little bit wider pass here, but they're nothing. It's just, I was very, very, very disappointed. I was inspired because I saw a video on YouTube that was about 15 years old, according to this guy doing jumps and stuff like that. And I go, where is that in Stanley Park? Like a wide open field with no trees? That doesn't exist in Stanley Park. There is 0 spots in Stanley Park where that could have existed. But so obviously the guy must have edited, oh, I'm right in Stanley Park, because it didn't show actually how he got there. All of a sudden he was in this, oh, great little mountain park area. So, oh, okay, this is interesting. I didn't even know this existed, because it doesn't exist. It wouldn't even existed 15 years ago when the guy obviously edited the video to make it look like he was riding around in Stanley Park, because the access points where he just suddenly jumped back and stuff, it's just impossible. But this is us riding through the mud, the crap, the leaves, the broken trees, the tree stumps, the roots, the rocks. It was all there, trust me. We almost tasted dirt a couple of times, turning on a corner, and the root is just like sheer ice. The tire just slips right off it. So getting a little bit of speed here. I think we're going to be coming up to a bigger path. Nice log in our way here. And to be perfectly honest, if I went back there tomorrow, I couldn't tell you. I know one of the starting points where I went off of Tatlow, but I have no idea where any of these other paths are, because as I said, I was all over the park looking for this path. There's another little jump. Look at how skinny that ramp is there. It's a slick, moldy, watered down log. And that's according to someone's jump. And we're going to go, where are you going to land there? You've got nowhere to land once again, unless you're just going to go over and just basically jump. And my $350 mountain bike, if I landed flat, it would literally snap like a toothpick. No bones about it. It's only got front suspension, no mid suspension. So I walked it down those jumps, because basically there's nowhere to land and there's no inclined hill or declined hill to land on. I'm not going to go flying off that thing and go land flat, because as I said, the $350 Costco mountain bike would not be able to handle it. It struggled. It struggled just going through this crap as it is, chewing up the logs, going over them on with the bike sprocket, etc. So, but I was very, very disappointed in the whole experience. I was expecting to see some wonderful paths. I know there are some other paths going down from Lovers down, because I did ride them before, but they're all so overgrown and shit. It's basically unrideable. If you just want to go to explore, fine, but I'd probably suggest to get a walking stick and walk it rather than haul your mountain bike, because you're not going to be able to get any speed. You can't find the lines because the lines don't exist. It's just a big, big, big shithole, so to speak. So now we're on a main path here, looking on the sides if we can see anything that's worthy of us exploring. And sometimes we found something that we could go in. Other times we ended at a dead end, had to backtrack and get back on the main path. Lots of detour signs. I'm not exactly even sure what all those detour signs mean, but there's all kinds of detour signs. Earlier this year, it was shut down because there was a storm on the seawall, but I don't understand what all these detour signs are. These aren't even on main path, so it's very strange that these detour signs are scattered throughout all the interior of Stanley Park. But as I said, this is video number 1 of 3. And they're basically all the same. We've got a little bit more exploring a little different places in Stanley Park, but this is number 1 of 3. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Any questions, put it on the video below. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when we've uploaded new material. And once again, any questions, comments, we will welcome them all and we'll answer them all. So this is, as I said, this is video number 1 of us trying to find paths deep inside Stanley Park, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.